Okay, for number one, you definitely need to be good at solving algebra type problems. So chemistry is, simply put, it's loaded with solving for an unknown value or quantity. And if you're not comfortable with algebra, you're going to have some struggles with it. So I would definitely, to combat this, if you've maybe been out of school for a while and or just don't feel comfortable in algebra or need to brush up on it before you go into the chemistry course, I would definitely look at some videos online that help you with algebra solving techniques. I will put in some videos on how to review algebra before taking the chemistry courses, whether you're in high school or in college. Okay, so second tip would be definitely be familiar with the periodic table. Get familiar with it as soon as possible going into the class. It's not something you have to memorize, but you definitely need to be able to locate your elements and be able to be familiar with what you can pull from the periodic table. So I'll leave it at that. And also there is a resource online. It's called ptable.com. And that is a wonderful way of getting familiar with the periodic table. You can actually click on each element and it'll give you all the details on the elements. So I'll leave it at that and I'll go on to the next tip. Okay, so for number three, I recommend getting a calculator that you understand and know well. Okay, so when you're in a test or a quiz, you're not fumbling around going, I don't know where my answer is, or I don't think I did this right, or if you're familiar with the calculator, you've been using it for a while, you should be good. So I'm going to just demo my TI-84 here real quick. This is a calculator that I use. There are several there out there on the market. I used to use a TI-83 and then moved to the TI-84 because my 83 broke. And because I tutor math as well, I needed a graphing calculator for that. So two more things. There is what I've noticed with students over the years is that if they're not familiar with the naming conventions in chemistry, it can really cause problems. So towards the beginning, usually within the first month or so, the chemistry teacher or professor will start showing you how to come up with a chemical formula based on the written name, right? And they like to use the written name a lot in the question. So if you don't know how to write the formula, so you can therefore write the chemical equation and do further analysis on that, it causes problems. So again, an observation, definitely take naming seriously. You do not want to look at a name on a quiz or a test and not be able to come up with the formula. That you won't be able to get the answer. I'd say 90% of the time. Okay, last thing would be conversions. So another way we say this in chemistry is dimensional analysis. So just like the naming, I'd say within a month or so of going into class, this teachers and professors will start teaching you how to convert things. So to convert basically means to take one quantity and put it into another quantity. So they'll typically start you off with maybe like Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius and temperature. We also use the Kelvin scale. So you need to work with temperatures. Typically in chemistry, it's the Celsius and the Kelvin scale. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. And also I did attach the rest of the tips that I have for being successful in chemistry that's sort of tied to any class that you take, whether it be physics or biology. The 5 things that I mentioned in this video are more or less specific to chemistry, and I hope you find them helpful. And again, this is if you're considering chemistry or perhaps starting chemistry soon, and you just want to be aware of, okay, what do I really need to know or pay attention to in the class? So if I missed anything, please drop a comment and I can add it to the video or just redo it. But as a chemistry tutor for a long time, those are the 5 things that I came up with that you really got to know if you want to be successful in chemistry class.